Fellas and ladies, you got to be politically correct these days. Feast your eyes on what can only be described as a gorgeous, pristine time capsule. 2023 Honda CRF 450RWE. So Works Edition. Looks like it just rolled out the crate. Somebody initially invested over $12,600 in this bike, and here we are now, and the thing probably has 10 hours on it. This bike is so clean, so correct, so meticulously maintained that it really looks like it stepped right out of a time machine. If you're a purist, an off-road enthusiast, or a motocross racer, you truly won't find another example like this out on the market today. This bike is almost all original, except for the bar pad. We just changed that out, and the grips. This bike is currently owned by the Stay Tuned Moto Collection. It's just gone through a complete frame-up professional maintenance. We put on brand new Dunlop tires, front and rear. Suspension has been fully serviced using only the best Honda fluids and Maxima oils. This bike has a hand-polished head, intake, and exhaust. Comes with a special Works Edition pipe that you can't buy. You can't go and buy that pipe, Rocky Mountain. Works Edition also comes with a Hinson clutch basket. It's not just the cover like most models. It's got a special ECU tune to go along with that intake and that exhaust and that polished head. They hard anno black your triple clamps. You got the Kashima coating on the inside. You also have special valving and sprung in the inside of that. You also got your nitrate DLC coatings on the bottom. The suspension on this thing is light years better than the standard model. You got an 18 mil rear shock shaft, which is also coated. Standard one is 16 mil. You also get the DID Dirt Star LTX rims. These are lighter than the regular Dirt Stars. Definitely professional grade. Bike comes standard with a hydraulic clutch. You got 3 different map modes: traction control, launch control. They call this the redhead when they hard anno the valve cover and they etch in CRF Works Edition. Guys, this bike has brand new Renthal DID chain and sprockets, brand new front and rear. Also, we also went in and put in brand new chain sliders, chain guide, brand new. Everything's been re-greased. This thing had a full 100% nut and bolt inspection. It's really in and unheard of original all condition. Got the original plastics and graphics on it, guys. Original seat cover. Seen better days, but you know, these things happen. There must have been a decal off here. Probably got power washed off. Guys, this is truly a legendary bike. If you don't know, this frame, this model, Hunter Lawrence and Jet Lawrence have won multiple races, multiple championships throughout the year on this bike. She's just had a full service, brand new twin air filter in it, brand new oil, full synthetic, brand new filter using only premium Honda oils. If you guys don't already know, 2023, they reinforced the frame. They made it a lot better. And they also changed the intake, made it more straight, smaller throttle body. They made some changes to really make this bike more aggressive and plant to the ground. If you guys want to buy this, you can go to our website, staytunedmotorcycles.com, go on eBay and bid. You know, may the best man win. Got the biggest money, wins the best bike. Yeah, right. I'm keeping this thing, folks. We racing it, folks.
Yeah, who do you love? Ah, who belong?
All right, fam, welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna try to keep this one to the point so that it keeps you guys interested. There's no racing in this video, so it probably won't do that well, but I have a lot to tell you guys. So it's Saturday morning, and as you can see, the DRZ Supermoto piston slap sold, and the YZ 250 two-stroke sold. Listed them both. DRZ sold in 6 hours, and the YZ sold within like 4 days, I guess 4 or 5 days, you could say. And I have no dirt bike now. And as much as, you know, I thought about it, and I'm like, you know, I think it's time to retire. I could still go to the races, support my friends, do videos and stuff. I had a lot of ideas, but yeah, that lasted like 24 hours. And so many people saw my ad for the smoker up for sale. So many people, more people messaged me about that bike for sale that are friends of mine to make sure I buy another bike and I keep attending the races. Even a lot of people messaged me after I marked it as sold. They're like, yo, what are you buying? You better be going buying another bike. Now, it's not the pressure from them. The truth is, yes, like you do need a dirt bike in your life of some sort. And sure, I still want to go to races, even though I'm not like, oh, I got to like win the whole series in D-class, stuff like that. So anyway, it's worth a mention too. I want to tell you guys the YZ250 that I bought off my buddy Paul and stuff, awesome bike, ran amazing, handled, performed great. I just felt like I couldn't shake the 4-stroke in me. Even though I grew up on 2-strokes and all that, and I said this and that, the bike was a wild animal of a beast, and you really have to be a 2-stroke guy to really understand that bike and ride it hard. So it was scarier than all get up. All right, guys, I just bought the bike, and I'm gonna try to do this really quick because I have to drive all the way home. All right, so yeah, 2023 CRF CRF450RWE Works Edition. And there's no wear on your clutch. There's no wear on the rim. It is dirty. There's a lot of dirt on this thing. It's all like mud and dirt. And then like, you know, you gotta clean it. But it's all original except for the grips. And we're gonna go over it more when we get home. The guy put brand new tires on it, chain sprockets, everything. I mean, it needs some cleaning, but just keep in mind that, you know, I got it for cheap and this bike rips. I test rode it. We're gonna go test drive it next at the compound. There's so much I have to tell you guys about this bike, so just keep watching. But I could tell you, like, the wheels spin straight, everything's good. He had suspension service, everything was good. He thinks it could even have like 10 to 15 hours on it. It's just a little bit dirty and stuff. Professional guys have gone through the suspension. Guys, there's so much to tell you about this bike. Like, it's incredible. Anyway, I wanted to just make a quick stop. We're gonna get everything. We're gonna get the restyle kit, graphics kit. We're gonna fix everything up. It does have a little glitch here on the bottom of the exhaust. Some of this is a little warm, but that's okay. A little scratch there, it's okay, it's fine. It's never been raised. The forks, the coatings, all that is mint. There's no damage anywhere. It's freaking sick, man. So anyway, yeah, let's just get to the spot. Let's just keep this going. I just wanted to do this real quick to show you guys. We got the real deal, folks. And there's a lot of differences on this bike compared to the stock one. And they made a lot of changes from 21 to 22 to 23, had a lot of changes with the intake and the throttle body. You know, this thing's mapped out. This is not your standard Yoshi full pipe. You know, if you order the full Yoshi pipe, this one's different. This one's made differently for the intake. It's got the the polished intake and exhaust head on it. And yo, this thing is gonna be a ripper. So for those of you that are familiar with the channel, I made it over here to the compound, the Stay Tuned Moto testing facilities. You probably recognize this. Many of bikes have been ridden here. Anyway, I'm gonna throw the helmet on. You know how we do. The bike's dirty, obviously. And when I get home, I'll talk about the seller's story, and the bike, and what makes this different from some of the other CRF450Rs, which a lot of you guys already know. But I'll point out a lot of the details. And then I'm gonna break the bike down and clean it, obviously, 'cause it's very dirty. So anyway, I'm gonna try to do this all in one shot because I just want to start it up and run it. Anyway, yeah, let's do this. Watch. We'll prime the fuel pump. Starts right up. The bike already has a total vibe. There's a lot of things I'm going to tell you guys about this. A lot of stuff has already been done that I don't need to worry about, and it's just basically cosmetic. By the way, this thing also has hydraulic clutch. It's got traction control, launch control, the 3 modes. So I'm pretty fired up, guys. I forgot my gloves. He said bike's been sitting, so it's got fuel 93 octane in it, and we're probably gonna get some T4 for it also. Anyway, let's see, let's put her in. There's no yellow codes flashing. We're in mode 1, map 1, which is the normal map, I believe. Woo! Oh, I feel right at home. Now, levers are not set up at all for me. Like, that's way too high. And it's way too far over this way, but I test rode it at his house, and it I went through the gears, it rips. Oh boy. Let's get her warmed up a little bit. Oh yeah. It's been a while since I've had a 450. As you guys know, I love my 250R. I think that's an excellent bike for most riders. The value in these bikes, a lot of people love the Hondas. I love the Hondas. I'm so glad to be back. Look at my marks from my YZ 250. I was just here, not even 24 hours ago, selling the YZ 250. Oh boy. This bike's a vibe. Suspension feels awesome. There's so much I gotta tell you guys about this bike and what the Works Edition. They really fine-tuned the bike. I'll tell you what, let's go on the map 2. On to the map 3. Aggressive map. Woo! Now the bike, the brakes feel brand new. The bike set up
be very different than the stock CRF450R. This one's made to be more roll-on power. The suspension is totally different than the stock bike. Valving, everything, coatings, we're going to go over all that. The pipe is different than the Yoshimura that you can buy online. Alright, we're in third gear. Like I said, I'm going to do an oil change. We're going to check the air filter. We're in third gear right now. Alright, so it's all gears, all the way up to fifth. Oh yeah, she's a total monster. I love this thing. Oh, sweet home. The suspension feels amazing. I already like the suspension. We're gonna check the sag for me, but I can already tell that this is like not your basic Showa suspension. I can already tell. Oh yeah, and this thing has more power than the YZ250 two-stroke, but I'm gonna be able to use it. This was the move for me. Alright, let's get out of here. I want to get this thing home. That's all I need to do. Like, feels awesome, sounds awesome. Let me get this thing home. I absolutely love it. And yeah, she's cosmetically dirty, but I'll tell you guys the whole story on the bike. Things will start making more sense. I don't have to do tires, chain sprocket, everything. Even the guides, all that stuff's new. Should have a new K&N, or I don't even remember. We're gonna check the air filter. Oh yeah, dude, I'm fired up. Let's get this thing home. So the bike was originally owned and financed in Mississippi, and I have paperwork which has the bank lien on it. I'm not gonna get too close to it, and that it was repossessed by the bank. So I looked up the guy that originally owned it, and I found him, and I found pictures of the bike, and we know it's the bike because it had a 100% sticker here. The guy must have went and bought 100% goggles. All the pictures of him riding are like in his backyard. Trails, there's nothing wheelie, streets, nothing like that. Now, the guy that I bought it from got it from an auction, and it makes sense. When things get repossessed, the bank clears the lien and deals with the original buyer. They get rid of the title, certificate of title, they release it, goes to an auction. They usually make money anyway. Trust me, I know a guy that's in banking and finance. So the guy I just bought it from, he has a auction license. What happened is he also has a real job working for what I'm gonna say as, I can't tell you guys. It's like top secret, but it involves pro riders, it involves R&D and things like that. He's not a pro rider himself. He bought it, and he got a good deal on this bike at the auction. So him and his pro buddies and all that, whatever, who he works for, let's just leave it at that. They've gone through this bike. Checked the valves. He said they were 100% in spec. There was nothing they needed to do. They've done full suspension service, and he said that the bushings and stuff looked brand new on the bike. He said that his suspension guy has seen bushings and stuff that are worn at 10 hours that look worse. He said everything looked brand new, but they did the oil, the service, all that stuff. And we're gonna get into the details about the suspension on this bike in a minute. Let's see, what else? Brand new tires, Dunlops, front and back, brand new. Probably have one ride on them. Chain, sprockets, everything's brand new. DID, rental, front and rear, I mean, brand new. He said it didn't even really need it, but they did it anyway. Chain guides, brand new chain guides too at the same time. He said they've gone through, greased the linkage, everything. This is a brand new R34 in the back. Has like one ride on it. And basically the reason why he was selling it now, he's got 2 kids, has a house. He said he's not a pro rider and this and that, so he's just unloaded it. So it's a 2023. So anyway, he's making money anyway. Now, this right here, you know, depending on the previous owner, he said all this was like this little scratch and stuff. I mean, guys that get on and off of bikes and their boots hit this, and plus there was like a big like factory decal here anyway. Like, I don't even care. Plastics, graphics, all that's getting replaced. There's a little bit of crash down here. Not a big deal. There's no dents or anything like that. Another thing is this can get worn out. 50, 60, 70 hours, this starts wearing out. It doesn't have the ring of death either on the rims. There's not even a single fin on the radiators that are, you know, tweaked. So the forks look amazing.
There's, this is dirt. There's dirt on there. All right, the next thing I want to talk about, and I encourage you guys to go look at all the videos you can find on the 2023 CRF450R Works Edition, because I'm just a repeat of them. But the test riders love it compared to the standard model. Now, being a 2023, this frame, I should say, the 450R, the standard model, ran from 21 to 24. 21 and 22, there was some complaints about, I don't know, head shake or something like that. So in 2023, they made a lot of improvements to the standard model, which do apply to this bike too. They did changes to the frame, and then they also changed the throttle body for the fuel injection. I think they went a little bit smaller. And they also changed the intake or I guess like the intake, the air boot with that. They made it straighter. So there was changes to this bike being a 2023 versus the 21 and 22. So last night, I'm like thinking, do I even want to buy another bike? I started watching videos on this bike, and it had to happen. All the test riders are like, the suspension changes and the things that they do on these Works Edition bikes really makes the bike so much more rideable, and everybody loves it. So here's the differences on the bike. Obviously, a lot of you guys know this stuff. The intake and exhaust ports are hand polished. They're not ported, nothing like that. This exhaust is not your standard exhaust. If you go buy the Yoshi for the CRF450R, nope. It's designed specifically to go on this bike with the mapping that matches that head. And you'll see that this hangs down lower than the one that you can go and buy. And that's why it also says Works Edition on the sticker. This Hinson clutch cover, it's not just a clutch cover. There's actually a Hinson basket in there, which is a little bit heavier, they say. And that also helped with putting the power down to the rear wheel. It helped with like mid-range, low to mid-range, things like that. So right off the bat, that's more work than I think, the KTM brands. They don't really do anything to their motors. They put on slip-ons and stuff like that. The SR does do like, I think, porting maybe on one side of the motor, but they polish too. And then they got the full exhaust ECU settings. But this is the only bike that they actually put a Hinson basket in, so I'm pretty stoked on that. At some point, I'm gonna take this cover off. I'm probably gonna buy the Hinson clutch pack, which is the springs, the plates, and the fibers. I'm gonna probably put that in because it still has a judder spring in there, which I can still get rid of that, but it does have a hydraulic clutch, guys, which is huge. I'm normally a cable guy, but I'm not gonna complain. This is like totally sick to me, and I'm really pumped, man. I'm really pumped. Okay, now before we go to the suspension, also the LTX rims. This has the Dirt Star LTX rims on it, which are better rims than the regular DID Dirt Stars. And aside from being dirty, they look to be in excellent shape. I spun them. Nothing's bent out of true, nothing. I mean, like, the thing's like brand new, guys. I mean, honestly. And boy, did I miss my Hondas that have this cover up front, titanium tank. Man, it feels good to be back on the Honda. Oh, then you also got this. They call it the Redhead. That's something that's something worth a mention. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, those Dirt Star rims are sick. All right, now let's go to the suspension a little bit. These are black, which the standard model back then came with, the regular, they're not powder coated. So these are powder coated black. You got your Kashima coating, and from what I understand, there's an internal tube in there that's Kashima coated too. And you got, I think it's called DLC or nitrate something coating on the bottom. And it's also valved differently, specifically for the Works Edition bike. It's not stock internals by any means. And also the previous owner serviced it. He said they serviced it, put in brand new fork seals, and like I said, everything else looked perfect. They actually have it set up pretty good. I don't even know if I'm gonna change it because apparently this thing was taken care of by some real mechanics. So we might leave the suspension and the sag the way it is. All right, next big thing is the rear shock, which looks to be in excellent condition. The rear bumper is not all blown out or anything like that. It's got the 18 mil coated shock shaft on it versus the 16 mil that comes on the standard model. This apparently helps with absorption, longevity, bottom end feeling, just stronger. All the pro bikes and Supercross have the 18 mil on the rear. So yeah, that's super sick too. Super glad to have that. He did put on lock-ons because I guess the old ones just got dirty or whatever. That makes sense. I'm gonna change all this stuff out anyway. What else do I wanna say? Oh yeah, so with the ECU settings, all these different mods, go watch the videos yourself, like Motocross Action Magazine, Dirt Bike Magazine, Swap Moto, they all they've been test riding these things. Go look at the 2023 specifically. You'll see everything that I'm talking about. This is a fantastic bike, guys, and I'm glad I got it. Even though it's dirty and she got a little bit of use and stuff, I don't even think it's that bad. I think this thing probably has 20 hours on it tops, if you ask me. And I'm stoked. They love it. They say compared to the standard model, this thing is way better to ride, way more stable. You'll see that the Works Edition bikes, the 250R they're doing now, they got the 2025, the 2026. I mean, listen, those bikes are like $15,000 out the door for the 450R. So I got all the plastics off. I'm gonna hand wash those. This radiator over here looks absolutely perfect. And it does have a nice, freshy clean. I'm still gonna clean it, but K&N air filter in there. I can tell the bars are rolled back a little bit, so we have to straighten those out. I'll do all that in the end. I can tell you this is a little bit on the looser side, but I can tighten that down. This radiator does have a slight bend to it, which makes sense because at some point someone crashed on this right-hand side. But it's got full coolant, and plus the guy said he did a flush to it. No leaks, nothing like that. Nothing that I'm worried about, so should be pretty good. You see it's in really good shape overall. The VIN number is not scratched off, which is good. I went through the frame. I tried to look everywhere I can. I'm gonna drop this plate off next before I power wash it because we're gonna do an oil change. But I'm not seeing any cracks, nothing like that. Subframe is nice and straight. Everything looks really good other than that. So I'm pretty stoked on it, guys. Round one of power washing is done. And I've already got things much cleaner, but I am gonna get new Brillo pads. I'm gonna get that aluminum shine stuff and just do some light work to it. But overall, everything has already cleaned up really nice, big time. I mean, check this out, guys. I took the full exhaust off because it really helps with cleaning. And what I can tell you guys, I mean, look at these fork lowers. They're mint. You get 40, 50, 60, 70 hours on these things, you can start to see wear patterns in it. So these things are absolutely gorgeous. But I'm glad I took that exhaust off. I can go in here and get a lot of this cleaner. Like I said, I gotta buy some cleaners and stuff. See, now I can get behind here. Even the rear shock shaft is like mint. She's just a little dirty, but not bad. So I'll take that all day long. So pretty fired up. I got everything cleaned up. I got my black plastics cleaned up, and yeah, it's time to move on to the next steps. I have all week to work on it, so there's no rush. There's only so much you can do in one day. So I just cleaned the pipe. I got rid of all those marks, and I sprayed it with WD-40, and we're gonna warm it up. I'm gonna do an oil change. I'm starting to put the bike back together because we don't know if we're gonna get the plastics and graphics in time for next week's race. He had this routed wrong, but it makes sense because he took the forks off and he took it to the guy. You can see they put 12 foot-pounds there for those. So I got everything dialed in. I set my bars and my levers, put on this other bar pad. So I'm just letting it warm up for the oil change and to let this do an initial burn off. You know, another thing that they said in the videos about the full Yoshimura exhaust on this thing is it's not a really loud bike. They actually appreciated it being quiet compared to like the Yamaha. So I get it. I'm in my garage right now. It's not even that bad. Like, I doubt my neighbors will even care, but I'm about to shut it off. Yeah, I don't know what was on that pipe. It was probably from, like, I don't know, the guy crashing his pants or something like that. It happens and people don't clean it off and it gets baked on there. So you go through some sandpaper, wet sand it, use some Brillo pads, you get it clean. It gets really bright, like a brand new, but it will re-yellow. All of this will match perfectly after like 1 day, 2 days of riding. All right, I'm letting the oil drip down, but I'm not seeing any metal shavings or anything. It's definitely used oil. You can see the clutch material, and it's a little bit darker, but as it was pouring out, it almost looked new. So you can tell it only has a few rides on it. Definitely no metal flakes or anything. The filter looks brand new. All right, so I put a quart of oil in it. I always like the window that they put on these things. And if you guys remember my channel, I started off on a CRF450R, but it was like an 07, I think, or 08. Thing took like 2 different oils, one for the transmission, one for the motor. I'm glad the technology these days is really good. Anyway, I'm gonna run it. Let it cool down, and then check that oil again. All right, guys, everything is pretty much said and done at this point. I put the whole bike back together, oil change, aired up the tires, set my bars, my levers. It's so much better, so much more room. What else did I do? Oil change, air filters clean. So I put it back together, but I'm gonna get a full plastics kit, the restyle kit. Got my graphics coming. We're gonna do the team graphics again like we did on the 250R. This time I'll have white backgrounds, black numbers, and a different font. Let's see what else. I got my factory looking grips coming, the grip covers. What else did I get? Oh, I got the frame guards too. So with all this said, what do I think? Well, I'll be honest, I think this bike has 10 hours on it. I think at some point, the original owner that repoed the bike, I think he crashed. And I think maybe he said, forget it. Maybe he got hurt, maybe not, I don't know. I know he's still alive though. So, I took off the sticker here because I realized it says Works Edition on there, and it says Works Edition there. Yeah, it's got a little crack in the bottom, but I hit it with some black marker. You can't even tell, so it looks good. I'll be honest with you guys, like, see how the seat has these marks? I tried scrubbing that off. If anything, did more wear on this. You know, when these bikes get 20, 30 hours on it, this Honda fades out. These cheap seats that they put on here, they say it's a factory seat, but it's not. Oh, I ordered the actual factory seat cover. It's a little bit different, and it has a patch here because this wears out. This wear on here is pretty much from me scrubbing it. It had a little wear just from age. But anyway, like I said, guys, I think this thing has honestly, 10 hours on it. So I think I scored on it. Now it is 3 years old. Luckily for me, the previous owner did the full suspension, tires. So all I got to do is get my cosmetics on it, and we're going to have some fun. I'm going to race this thing. You know, it's not perfect. It definitely, you know, I could go in there and scrub the motor and stuff. I really wanted to get it perfect. But we don't have to worry about that. The exhaust looks so much better. You know, it's a race bike. There's no play in the suspension. Everything feels really good. See, look, it's 12 foot-pounds. I think what the guy did was he took the suspension off and he had his techs work on it, and then they went and rode one day, and I don't know, it's just not for him. He works for this company, and he's not a racer himself. He bought it at an auction. They worked on it. They went through the bike. So luckily for me, this thing is in good running condition now. So he also, he had this routed wrong. I don't know if you guys noticed that in the first half of the video, but I got it all put back together good. We got my grips coming, and I think this is gonna be fun. The bike felt awesome when I rode it yesterday. It really felt like planted, and I'm pretty excited about it. Test out the suspension and stuff. Look, I even got new A-Star gloves, so I'm gonna start getting some new red gear again. I'm glad to be back on Honda. So the final question I have is this: is he back? Is the Whole Shot King back? Because I can't wait to drop the gate and see what this thing can do compared to what that CRF450R did. I don't know, guys. He might be back. Whole Shot King might be back. Stay tuned. Next weekend, we got Birmingham Supercross, going to that. Already got my ticket. I'll see everybody there. And then on Sunday, we're racing this thing at Cash Bros. And that's not just any Cash Bros race. It's the season opener for Sweet Home Alabama, which is a big deal because the Dodge City race got canceled because of weather. That was supposed to be the season opener. So it's going to be packed. And I might do unlimited CD. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I get all my plastics and graphics and seat cover and everything by then. I could do all that in one day. So let's see what happens. And what else is going to say? Oh, yeah. Cash Bros is like one of my favorite places to ride. Last time I was there, I got a 5th place. So I'm going to try to get a podium this time. Top 3. No excuses on the Works Edition. Let's go, guys. Thanks for watching.
I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. I got a cobra snake for a necktie. A brand new house along the roadside, and it's made out of rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new chin that baby built on top, and it's made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, baby, and tell me, who do you love? Who do you love? Now around the town and use a rattlesnake whip. Take it easy, baby, don't you give me no lip.